Hello, sorry I'm late. It doesn't matter, nobody's here. I'm trying to change that. I don't know what to do. I'm terrible at marketing, especially when I have no financial incentive. But I never understood it. I always thought someone's work should stand enough on its own. You shouldn't have to. I don't know. Never liked that junk. Anyway, my name's Frank. This is No More Paper. If you happen to be listening in the future, I'm trying to build a community. As a side project, mind you. I don't want to make money off of it. I want other traders who trade the same things as me, who are better or different than me, that think differently than me, so I can become more professional. And hopefully teach them things along the way, if I should be so bold. Alright, as I go live, ADP just released. It had a positive effect on the market immediately, but we'll see. Let's check the numbers. So it shows lower, actually. I wonder if the Fed will decide to look at numbers that they're not supposed to look at and say, you know what, it's because of ADP numbers, let's cut. I don't believe for a second that Kevin Warsh is it Warsh or Wash? Like he washes our money. I don't believe for a second that he's independent. Not at all. I don't believe for a second that Jerome Powell is independent. I think it's hilarious that someone in the same breath can say the Fed's crooked and anyone that one administration appoints is crooked and backwards. But no, the last guy, he was totally independent. They are unequivocally a political institution, despite their mandate being nonpartisan. It does not matter. They are the Fed. They control the money flow in the U.S. And I think he'll just ignore the bond markets. I don't think he should. I just can't hide my disappointment with the current administration, which, despite being called Republican, is nothing like a Republican. And aligns much more to a globalist agenda. Just a bit edgier, I guess. I don't know. Disgusting. Tomorrow's a big day. CPI. We'll see what happens then. Let's take a quick look at headlines. I'm trying to be quick today. I say that every day. Doesn't matter. The main article is the Treasury market is telling Feds, what a dumb way to write a headline, that rates need to be hiked. And there's actually a pretty neat graph in here for once. It does show that for the longest time they might have been behind the curve, but that was good, I think. well, I don't know if good's the right word. My personal view is the Fed shouldn't exist. Capitalism isn't capitalism if it's just a puppet for the government. In another scary article that we'll look at next, where they might have taken it down. Their overlords might have said, no, you can't show this article. It was about Palantir. The Palantir douchebag was saying that the government might nationalize AI companies. And what's kind of weird is, I think the AI companies want that to happen. It's just another way of a bailout. That's what they're going to say. They're going to say, oh, what they're saying right now is the American people should share in the profits of AI, which there aren't any, by the way. The only one making profits is NVIDIA, but even that's very suspect. So AI is a losing proposition, beyond losing. The costs drastically outweigh the benefits, and none of them are profitable, none of them ever will be. Unless they develop a chip tomorrow that runs on farts, there's no way. Anyway, going back to this article. No, let's talk about that one. So they want to first say American citizens should share in the benefits of AI because AI steals information that everyone gives into. So that can be somewhat true, but also a perfect example of how politicians use somewhat true, agreeable statements to then turn around and say, oh, but we're going to somehow screw you, which is what they always do. And I think how it's going to go is they're going to start releasing bills. Maybe it won't, but this is just their playbook anymore. We no longer have an American government like we had 100 years ago or 150 years ago. We now have pseudo-socialism, technocracy type thing, building, which is building in real time. People that say it's coming are off. It's happening right now. Anyway, so first they're going to say we should share in the profits and we should get 50% of the profits. And I bet you these companies, these AI companies, are going to open up to it a little bit more and a little bit more. And just let it happen, not fight it. And then when it turns out, oh, they're crap and they're not profitable, oh, well, then the government should step in and rescue them like they did with Intel. Because, oh, it's in the national interest. So it's just this very sneaky way. They can't get your money through profits, through selling you an item, through selling you something that's useful and cost effective. Instead, they're going to get your money through tax. They're going to force you to pay for these billionaires. And I don't want to sound like a socialist. I don't have anything against the idea of a billionaire. What I hate is when government's in bed with business. It should be doing the opposite. It should be separating itself to the nth degree from any business, and it should be policing monopolies. It's like the billionaires of 100 years ago. They weren't billionaires, but they actually built something. They actually caused leaps and bounds in our world that meant something. Now it's just managed decline as they loot the coffers, as everything gets worse. Everything gets faker and gayer as we move towards socialism, which will fail entirely. It never has succeeded. Never. Ever. But what are you going to do when they've been making half the world stupid and the other half cattle? That's enough of that. Let's move on to price. This is, after all, a market show. Let's start with the VIX. If you don't know, the VIX opens at 3 a.m. for some reason. More like 3:20. 3:15. I don't remember the reason. Whatever. Anyway, it's slowly going down, but it's staying sticky, I guess would be the word. It's not correlated to how much the market's gone up in the overnight. That's concerning. Also, dollar's heading down, which I don't really know why at this point. All I know is usually when the dollar goes down, it increases equities because they have more. Things become cheaper, imports become cheaper. Yields are still heading down, but they didn't drop as much as you would think yesterday, and we're still quite elevated. I don't think we're going to move down much from here. That's my personal opinion. The 10-year continues to kind of move down. And the 30-year stays very sticky. But who knows when that updates. We're in a weird situation right now with U.S. markets where all the powerful people want to push this bubble till the end. Which is why I'm surprised that some of the news agencies were releasing articles saying, being truthful for once, which is crazy, about how AI is unprofitable. Maybe at some point reality has to smack them in the face, but if I put my tinfoil hat on, at some point they're going to let it happen. And when they let it happen, they want to make sure they have exit liquidity. What does that mean? That means you and me. That's why the AI companies are racing towards IPO right now. They want you to buy it up. Whether you want to or not, you won't have a choice. If you have a 401k, you're buying SpaceX. I mean, look at CoreWeave as an example. I don't know how that company, I don't know how their stock price goes up. The market is irrational. Simple as that. But they IPO'd as a, I don't know if they IPO'd as a, they're doing crypto stuff for the longest time. Got a whole bunch of GPUs. And then when AI came along, they're like, hey, we can use those GPUs for something. even though they're older GPUs. They got a whole bunch of funding from NVIDIA, which should be illegal because how are you going to pay your customers to buy from you? It's just backwards. And if this market doesn't crash, you can expect that to happen times 10 in the future. If they do everything they can to propel this bull market, again and again and again, you're going to see more circular financing. You're going to see more outright fraud and bad business practices. And it doesn't matter if you get rich on it, if there's nothing to buy when it's over. You might get your retirement account might go up to $1 million, but if a loaf of bread costs $700, what are you going to do? You're not exactly rich anymore, are you? Anyway, CoreWeave has, since their IPO, there's a certain amount of time they can't sell shares, the insiders, but now the insiders are unloading their shares like crazy because they know it's coming. Or maybe it won't come. I don't know. Anyway, let's look at the charts. Yesterday was... So the overnight, Sunday night, opened. Pushed higher on lower volume. And then at the open, cranked higher just a little bit and then sold off for the rest of the day. Seems like tonight, or this Monday night's overnight, same thing's being done. But we'll see. We still have this bear value area up here, naked value area at 75.15. I'll get into that in a bit. Let's take a look closer. There's a 5-minute with the profile built in to each day. Here you can see Sunday night. It was pumped up, made weekly highs. I guess that would be considered monthly highs too, wouldn't it? No, it wouldn't. Made weekly high, which isn't saying much on Monday, and then fell for the rest of the day. We actually hit Friday's low. Or no, we didn't. Never mind. We consolidated right around what happened to be a previous initial balance low, which is why I marked these areas. I don't remember when that's from. Geez, going back to a month ago almost. Right now we're stuck at what I marked as a key volume area. That's it's an old range here that we're dipping back into again. So this old range's value area high is going to be a key area. Give it a wide berth though, until you see stuff like this. Price has now hit it twice and rejected it. It is starting to look bearish. We've built nothing but negative ask bid volume, which if you don't know what that means, that it's a calculation of the amount of orders hit on the ask minus orders hit on the bid. Generally, if orders are being hit on the ask, that is bearish. If they're being hit on the... No, wait. Do I have it backwards? I don't remember now. Okay, yes, I'm sorry. If they're hit on the bid, it's bearish. If they're hit on the ask, it's bullish. So a negative number, which I have displayed down here, and this is the total for the day, 1700. So that's slightly bullish, but that's only decreased since we've been up in this area. So that tells me that we're going right at this moment, we're going down. Because this is lagging, I mean, you're not seeing for what's going to happen. You're just seeing what's happening now and in the past. That could change at any moment. But we shall see. For today, if we head higher, I have the following areas marked off. 74.67 to yesterday's high, 74.76, which is also the weekly high. Look for building of resistance in this area. See if we bounce off, if we head up here. If we break through this, I think we'll push right through to Friday's value area high, which is 75.15. We might slow down a little bit in here, but I think we'll push until that area. If we break through there, I plan on going long, hopefully on a pullback. I'm not going long right away. I might grab one contract, micro. And that's where I would take profit. Some profit anyway. I might let one run. That would be a sign that we will head higher and make all-time new highs. If we break that. Of course, anything can still happen after that, but that's why I said a sign. If we head lower, I have I didn't mark that yet like I'm supposed to. I know it gets a little crowded. I'm starting to dislike it, but so many times prices hit exactly at an initial balance area. I no longer I look at value areas as they change throughout the day in point of control. I use that more as a guide rather than direct entry areas. You know, if point of control is constantly being brought up, I look at that as acceptance. Anyway, I have previous initial balance low marked as support if we head lower. And then also yesterday's close. But there's so much to get through in here. So much junk. So we might just rotate through here all day. I would not advise trading while we're in here unless we establish clear rotation. maybe small scalps, but nothing major. If we head lower than that and hit the overnight low and stop there, my plan is to wait. Well, I'll tell you my specific plan. My first, I usually do it in a if-then style, kind of like coding. If this happens, then do this. If that happens, then do that. So if we break higher and consolidate at previous day's high, my plan is to watch and wait for evidence of rejection and short one contract back to POC, wherever it's going to be, in 1 to 74.29. So short term, because we are somewhat rotational in here, I'm not taking any Hail Marys. My second plan, if we trend lower and we take the point of control with us as we trend lower, and we stop at any of my marked areas, my plan is to watch and wait for support to build and go long 2 contracts with very tight profits. So like I just said, basically do very short-term trades towards wherever we rotate at, which it's hard to know right now. So the only long-term trade I'm looking at is a rejection at higher areas, or if we build support at extreme lows. And that's it. That's all I've got for today. Good luck. Goodbye.